my fellow Americans, all men and women who are past or present military, I need your help. Every last one of you. Descendants of someone who served in any and all branches of the military, I need your help. I have a great debate, and I need you to vote. Well, excuse me, I keep saying vote. I need you to give comment when I put this on social media as to if my friend who keeps saying, I'm not a hero, who is a hero, by the way, but I need your input. I'm calling on my friend Ernie and on David the Rock Nelson and on every military man or woman that ever lived who fought or served for the United States of America. You see, there's a gentleman here on Facebook. You can look him up. It's Charles Tatai is his nickname. Charles Tatai Sanders. But I got rid of the Tatai. I call him Charles Hero Sanders. And he keeps saying, all that I did was my job. Then he tried to make an argument. Can you believe this guy's in jails of the military? Listen to this one. Y'all gonna love it. He said, I never served in combat, so I'm no hero. I only did my job. Now, his job was such an important, vital job that if he doesn't do his job, most of the women and men that were fighting in Iraq, the people that he was working with, thousands, I think, or at least hundreds, they couldn't have fought. But he claims, I was just doing my job. But you know what? He may be right. I don't know. Y'all are the military. But I want civilians to comment also. That's right. Give a comment. Is he or is he not? There used to be a commercial for a company called Memorex. Some of you may be old enough to remember it. Others look it up online. It used to be a commercial. Is it live or is it Memorex? So we'll apply that. Is Charles a hero? Let us find out. Is he a hero or is he not? Give comment. Keep in mind that Charles served in the United States Army for 33 years. Charles works roughly 10 or more hours per day. He has to drive over an hour to and from work. So we already have 12 hours. Now, remember, he was in the military for 33 years with a vital role, by the way. Now, I already said that, but he did some other stuff. Now, check this out. This man works, you might as well say 12 hours, counting the travel time, at least 12. Do you think that's all that Charles does? No. Charles Tatai, or Tatai, it's like, go on YouTube and look up Tatai Sanders. Subscribe to his channel, look at his playlist, understand that he comes home after a 12-hour day. Then he takes out not one, not two, but 3 dogs. We're not talking about chihuahuas like my baby, our baby who's barking in the background that I know y'all hear most likely. That's Coco Courageous. He's a chihuahua. Not what Charles Hero Sanders walks every day. You see, he has a beautiful fur child, beautiful girl, Blondie. She's a pit bull. That's right, a pit bull. Then he has baby. I believe she's a pit bull mix. Beautiful girl, black and white. Then he has Rocket, known as a standard poodle. Charles works 12 hours. 12 hours, and walks 3 dogs all at the same time. But then again, he's kind of like an infomercial. It just keeps going and going. So then Charles does all this. 12 hours, walks the dogs, then goes home inside the house and spends time with his 2 young children and his beautiful wife. All that every day. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all might be Marines, Navy, Air Force, Army, Army Reserves, Navy Reserves, whatever it is, Coast Guard, National Guard. But if you all don't agree that he's a hero, and I believe that you will, if that's not a hero, what is? Now, I'll agree and concur. There are different levels of heroes. But he is a hero. Now, he may not be the highest level. No offense to him. I mean, we may reserve that for someone who ends up, like back in the day in WW2, World War II. There was a lot of men, and ironically, women. Not ironically, but you really don't hear about what the women do. It's not fair, but you just don't. Well, there's a lot of men that put their lives on the line to save their friends. A lot of them got hurt, and unfortunately, far too many died. And these men and women have been doing this since the 1770s. That's right, the 1770s. Think about the United States Civil War. Learn about it. It's fascinating. But let me go a little bit further over here. Let's say that there is a certain level. Now, the other thing is that I believe that Charles is a hero. But I understand his perspective. From his perspective, he wasn't in danger. Or at least he thinks he wasn't in danger. Because I know that during the Iraqi war, even the Green Zone, I think it was called the Green Zone, people got hurt and killed. Our military men and women got hurt in the Green Zone and killed. And he could have been hurt or killed too. He may not look at it that way, but he could have been. But let me tell you what I consider a hero. Now, again, there's different levels. I'll give you that. I'll let you all have that, Charles. But every person's ever signed their name on the dotted line was willing to give their life for freedom. Just signing on the dotted line, you are an automatic hero. It could be level 1, if you want to call it that. And somebody that literally saves a person, 1 or more people. I don't know, maybe you could call him a level 10. I don't know. But he's a hero. If a woman or a man signs on a dotted line, if that woman signs on a dotted line for the U.S. military, I don't care why she did it. She's a hero. So Charles Sanders, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is a hero. I need you to comment. And make sure that you look up Charles Sanders and let him know that he's a hero. I'd appreciate it. I would truly appreciate it. Now I need you to do something else. There's going to be, if you go to my Facebook page, and I really hope you do, because you can save some lives. Yeah, you. And you're already heroes, men and women that fought and served. I need you to go to my Facebook page and look up some of my other stuff. There's going to be a link that's going to take people to a 5-minute video that will change their lives for the better. I didn't say might. I didn't say might. I said will. So I need every Navy person, Navy man and woman, Army man and woman, every single airman and airwoman. I think they only call them airmen even if they're women, which is kind of bizarre. But no, I'm not picking on the Air Force. I just think we need to give women a lot more respect. One, for women, we wouldn't be here. God and women created the situation that you're existing. God and women. Can we get an amen for the Lord thy God? If you love God, mention that in the comment or comments. But here's the thing. If you're in the Marines or the Air Force, the Navy, or I'm a wee bit tired. Give me a New York second. Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, Navy Reserves, Army Reserves, Marine Reserves, Air Force Reserves, and of course, National Guard and all that stuff. I don't care what it is. And of course, the Coast Guard. Never forget the Coast Guard. Those men and women fight every day to keep us safe. You know, the politicians want to blab and say this, that, and the other. They don't want to bring up what the Coast Guard does for you and for me. And they're heroes too, by the way. You know who else are what I call domestic heroes? Who else? You see, we have domestic heroes. When I call the domestic heroes, it's maybe they've never been in the military, but they're here in the United States. My list of heroes, and I don't care what level they want to be called or not be called, they're still heroes and heroines. The female name for a hero is heroine. Bizarre, but it is what it is. I met a hero last night at an amusement park. I met an actual living, breathing hero. Or in this case, she's a woman. So I guess you'd call her a heroine. I don't like that word. I don't like it. I think it's bad because obviously we know about that other heroine. It's spelled differently, thank goodness. But still. But I met Frankie, Katie, and Molly. See, my sister Diane, she fell last summer and broke both her arms. It was a really bad situation. She's still recovering. But I call what I'm about to tell you, I call it medical PTSD. That's what I believe it. I have medical PTSD, by the way, and they are starting to actually call it medical PTSD, I believe. That's what it is. Well, she has a form of it. So she's terrified to walk anymore because she's had falls over the years where she's gotten seriously injured. I'm talking way back in the 1970s, 80s, or 90s. I don't remember when she broke her arm the first time. But she's terrified. And so she had a walker when we were leaving the amusement park, has a walker, still scared, and was still physically struggling. And I know you're not supposed to tell people's ages, but I'm 60 years old, and she's 10 years older than me. You do the math, no comment. Any rate, I had gone on ahead because we had to get what they call a shuttle to the other part of the parking lot. I wanted to make sure we'd be able to do that. So I had gone ahead. The next thing I know, I see my sister Rose. And then I see Diane in a wheelchair. I'm like, what? And then I meet a hero, a female hero, domestic hero if you want. If you want to call her that, she's a hero. She's a nurse. That's right, America. She's a nurse. You mean tell you something. She was off duty, and her wonderful children helped my sister. Frankie is a hero or a heroine. And she's especially a big deal to me. You see, I have a heart issue that when I was born, I could have died by the age of 12. The majority of people who had what I have didn't make it past 12. Over 75% didn't make it. I like to tell people right now, in this lifetime, I'm 60 and nifty. Yeah, it's so corny you could take it to the farm. But I am 60 and nifty. Next year, I'll be 61 and having fun. Last year, I was 59 and feeling fine. It's corny, but it's also true. I'm here. So I have this situation. Could have been dead. 75% of us were dead by 12. Then I find out a few years back that I have lymphoma. You know, the one that rhymes with the word answer. Or at least they say I have answer, whoever they are. But I can tell you this, I feel great with all that stuff. You know who keeps me going? Nurses. Like the wonderful Frankie. Now, I never met her, but other nurses. You know who else? Technicians, radiologists, people who take the CAT scan and the PET scan. And it's a list of medical professionals. Every person. There are different levels, but anyone and everyone that help to save lives are heroines and heroes. And let me tell you something. A lot of nurses, you have no idea what kind of work schedule they have. And it's hard. It's not easy. And it's stressful. And when COVID-19 hit America, many nurses got sick. And I believe a lot died. Finally, we have our doctors. Many of them have saved lives because of God's mighty help. They're heroes too. They're heroines and heroes. We have our firemen and women, our paramedics and our EMS, heroes and heroines. We have our officers, at least the good ones, the ones who obey the law and don't go around doing what we've heard on in the news every now and then, heard about. The emergency people, such as the police, firemen and women, emergency medical technicians and paramedics, heroes. Heroes. Domestic heroes. And heroines. Different levels, you can say that. That's fine. But the conclusion that I make is that people like Frankie go above and beyond the call. And I don't even know you, Frankie. Not really. But to me, you are amazing. To your husband, I congratulate him having a life with you and your children. And I congratulate you having a life with him and your children. I'm so glad that the two of you and all of you together have what you have. You deserve it. Now, I don't remember your husband's name yet. I apologize, sir. But you're an amazing man. I didn't even meet you, and I know you're amazing. Now, a lot of people, before I go, a lot of people are like, how does this man think he knows people when he didn't even meet him? I didn't even personally meet him, whatever you want to call it. I know some things, okay? I know some things. I can't explain it. I've been blessed. Now this is a sidebar, and then I'm going to get moving because I'm going to get moving, but I got to throw this out there for Frankie and her two wonderful daughters. Amazing geniuses. Geniuses. Frankie, you're a genius too. So are you, husband, man. I'm sorry, but her husband, I'm sorry, I don't know your name yet. I will, I promise. Let me get this off my chest, if you will. We all have genius in us. Every human that ever lived, there's some genius in you. And I already saw it last night with these three women. They have greatness in them, like Les Brown says. Look him up on YouTube. There's greatness in each of us. And there is also genius. But in closing, you know how I just said I know some things? So you might be like, well, how he doesn't really know. I know some things. You see, back when Jeff Reed was a kicker on the NFL team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, he had a show for a while. And I got invited to it because I was media for 19 years. And a friend invited me. So the show's over, and I go up to Jeff Reed. I said, Jeff. He said, what? I said, you know you're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And he laughed at me because they were doing really bad. He cracked up. Like, I said, Jeff, and I got a stern face. I said, I'm not kidding. That was the last time they won, but they won. So I happened to see him again at the same event because I had a friend who had a connection. He looks at me. He said, you were right. Then he said, how did you know? I said, I can't answer that. I don't know myself. I just knew it. I don't know how I know what I know. I just don't know. But I'm thankful to the Lord God. And if you don't believe in a higher power, I still love you anyway. Okay? But for me, it's the Lord thy God in Jesus Christ. And I'm glad that I am baptized in Christ. I'm glad that I was baptized. You couldn't pay me all the money in the universe or any currency. But in closing, I'm proud of Charles Sanders and every man and woman, I should say, that ever served, whether it's in the military or here at home. And I am proud and honored to have met Frankie. Unfortunately, I don't remember the last name. Not yet. But I guarantee you, with God's mighty help, I will. In closing, I love each and every one of you spiritually. Yeah, I do. So much so that the phone that I'm on, you can text me 24 hours a day. I'll get back to you when I can. And I'll give you the spelling of my name. You can look me up in Google. See if some of the things I say are true or not. So let's go with the name first. Albert Torcaso. We got ourselves a T-O-R. That's T as in Tom, O-R-C-A-S-O. Our TV series, our television TV series, aired in Pittsburgh. I was a talk show host for at least 19 years. Humanity Matters Live. Look me up on Google, YouTube, you name it. On YouTube, I am known as Albert Torcaso, T-O-R-C-A-S-O. I figured I'd give it to you one more time, help you out. Let me tell you something else. I need you to pay attention. Here comes that phone number, 412-559-2731. To Frankie, her husband, and her amazing daughters. Thank you. And you'll never know how much it meant to me that the three of you, Frankie, I believe it's Katie and Molly. Hey, don't tear this out. Young ladies, don't tear the rest of my comb over out if I got it wrong. But I think it's Frankie, Katie, and Molly. You're amazing. And thank you, because my sister really needs that help. I know it seemed like I didn't want to help her. I'm not allowed medically. I'm not allowed. God bless you. I love you all. To the heroes of America and the heroines of America, I salute you. And God bless you. Love all of you. But yeah, Charles Tatai Sanders is a living, breathing hero.